Floodwaters have swamped parts of Guangzhou in Guangxi after torrential rain from Typhoon Nara forced tens of thousands from their homes. Drone footage filmed Monday showed roads, buildings, and vehicles submerged, with rescuers using rubber boats to navigate flooded streets. Authorities say around 54,000 people have been relocated, including more than 8,000 to emergency shelters. The Guangxi Hydrology Center issued a red flood warning on August 23 as rivers rose by up to 11 meters. 19 monitoring stations reported water levels above danger thresholds. China has activated a level 4 emergency response for Guangxi, Guangdong, and Hainan, deploying rescue teams and relief supplies. Nara, the 19th typhoon of the season, continues to linger over the Beibu Gulf, with heavy rain forecast through Wednesday. Russian doctors at Soshenov University in Moscow have developed what they describe as a groundbreaking treatment strategy for Alzheimer's disease using a new blood filtering technique to target chronic inflammation. Unlike existing therapies that focus on easing symptoms or reducing beta amyloid buildup, the method removes harmful DNA-based particles called neutrophil extracellular traps from the bloodstream. Researchers believe these structures fuel inflammation and contribute to brain cell damage. In a pilot study, Alzheimer's patients underwent 3 plasma filtering sessions. Doctors reported improvements in memory, attention, and daily functioning 3 months later. Relatives also noted progress. Experts caution the findings are preliminary, with larger trials needed to confirm safety and effectiveness. Alzheimer's currently affects up to 40 million people worldwide, with no cure available. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that neo-Nazi ideology underpins Ukraine's statehood today. Speaking in Moscow on Sunday, he argued that this ideology drives Kyiv's policies and alliances while presenting Russia as defending sovereignty against Western interference. Putin's remarks come amid ongoing conflict. He insisted Russia's position is rooted in protecting national interests and countering what he described as foreign attempts to undermine sovereignty. The comments add to Russia's broader narrative in the war as tensions remain high across Europe and the global south watches closely. President Vladimir Putin has warned Ukraine faces a catastrophic scenario after escalating drone and missile strikes on Russia's oil, gas, and civilian infrastructure. Speaking in an interview Saturday, Putin said Kyiv had opened Pandora's box with attacks on economic and logistics facilities. Moscow retaliated by targeting Black Sea shipping and key ports, striking what he called Ukraine's most sensitive economic sectors, including agricultural exports. Putin noted Ukraine is now reaching out through intermediaries to prevent further escalation, but described some diplomatic proposals as exotic and unacceptable. He stressed Russia prefers a long-term settlement that addresses the conflict root causes, but vowed military pressure will continue until Kyiv compromises. Russia's first Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov and India's Foreign Minister Subrahmanyam Jaishankar met in Moscow on Sunday, standing for photos ahead of Intergovernmental Commission talks. The meeting underscores the growing partnership between Moscow and New Delhi, with discussions expected to focus on trade, energy, and industrial cooperation. Both sides have emphasized the importance of expanding economic ties despite global challenges. Manturov and Jaishankar's engagement reflects the long-standing strategic relationship between Russia and India as the two nations continue to coordinate on key regional and international issues. Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, the Vatican Secretary for Relations with State, has begun a 4-day mission to Moscow, running from August 24 to 28. His program includes meetings with Russian officials, representatives of the Moscow Patriarchate, and encounters with the Catholic community. The visit blends diplomacy with ecclesial and ecumenical dimensions, underlining the Holy See's determination to pursue dialogue during a tense period in global relations. Gallagher will also preside at a Eucharistic celebration and meet bishops, clergy, and religious across Russia's small but widespread Catholic community. The church's structure includes the Archdiocese of the Mother of God in Moscow and dioceses in Saratov, Novosibirsk, and Irkutsk. This is Gallagher's second visit to Moscow following his 2021 mission, where he met Prime Minister Mishustin, Foreign Minister Lavrov, and Patriarchate leaders. Kazakhstan's Central Election Commission says voting has ended in the country's first election for the new unicameral Kurotai parliament. Officials reported that more than 9.3 million voters cast ballots on Sunday, representing over 74% turnout nationwide. A total of 545 candidates competed for 145 seats elected for 5-year terms from party lists. The vote follows a sweeping constitutional overhaul that came into force July 1, replacing the 1995 constitution and transforming Kazakhstan's bicameral legislature into a single chamber. The reforms also introduced the office of vice president and reorganized several state bodies. Preliminary results will be announced by the Central Election Commission, with full details to follow. Iran's acting defense minister has warned that any future attack on the country will carry unbearable costs. Brigadier General Sayed Majid Ibn al-Reza told foreign military attachés in Tehran Saturday that Iran's doctrine is based on deterrence, not aggression, making another strike too costly to repeat. He accused international institutions of failing during recent conflict, while Defense Ministry spokesperson Reza Tlaib said Iran is producing two-thirds of its weapons components domestically at costs up to 20 times lower than foreign systems. An Iraqi military attaché added that the recent war failed to achieve its declared objectives, including regime change or crippling Iran's defenses. The US and Iran signed the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding in June to end military operations, but talks on a final statement have stalled, with disputes over the Strait of Hormuz unresolved. 5 UAE humanitarian aid convoys have entered the Gaza Strip last week, carrying around 800 tons of relief supplies under Operation Chivalrous Night 3. Footage released by the Emirate news agency showed trucks crossing Rafah into Gaza, delivering shelter materials, food, and medical supplies to support Palestinians during the ongoing humanitarian crisis. The UAE launched the operation in November 2023 following the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war under directives from President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Aid convoys have since continued regularly, strengthening the humanitarian response inside the Strip. This latest delivery adds to the UAE's ongoing relief efforts aimed at meeting basic needs and supporting communities affected by the conflict. Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has inaugurated the country's largest power plant, the $2.84 billion Julius Nyerere hydropower project on the Rufiji River. Footage from Saturday's ceremony showed sweeping views of the massive site as Hassan toured the 9-turbine facility and hailed its importance for national development. With an installed capacity of 2,115 megawatts, it is now the largest hydropower plant in East Africa and one of the biggest on the continent. Energy Minister Deogratius Ndejembi said the project accounts for nearly 45% of Tanzania's electricity generation, boosting total capacity to 4,446 megawatts. The surplus opens opportunities for industrial growth and electricity exports to neighboring countries. Built by an Egyptian consortium, the project fulfills decades-old plans to harness the Rufiji River and is expected to drive manufacturing, mining, and agriculture while positioning Tanzania as a regional energy supplier. More than 1,000 Central African artifacts are now on display at Guangzhou's Guangdong Museum in the exhibition Power of Life. Carved masks, beaded ceremonial attire, traditional weapons, shields, and agricultural tools filled the gallery. The exhibition explores centuries of royal history, ritual, and craftsmanship offering visitors a glimpse into everyday life, ancient kingdoms, and spiritual traditions. Running until November 1, the display coincides with the 2026 China-Africa Year of People-to-People Exchanges, marking 70 years since China first established diplomatic ties with Africa. Visitors described the artifacts as both spiritual and abstract, drawing parallels with ancient Chinese shamanistic traditions. The exhibition forms part of broader cultural exchanges agreed at the 2024 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit.